Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I heard there might be some other big game happening right now, but you all are in the right place because it's time for the final match of the weekend here as Cloud9 and CounterLogic Gaming face off. Looking at the starting lineups on the blue side, it's Cloud9 with Licorice in the top lane, Svenskeren in the jungle, Nisqy at mid, Sneaky bottom, Zeyzal on support, and Coach Reaper.
And selecting red side for their match today, it's CounterLogic Gaming. In the top lane, Darshan. In the jungle, Wiggily. Mid laner, PowerOfEvil. Bot and support going to be Stixxay and Biofrost with Coach Weldon.
And it may not have been flashy, it may not have been clean, but damn if CLG did not finally pick up their first win yesterday versus FLICKR.
That's true, they did win. And, you know, you've got to say, they played to their comp, but they didn't use a good job, I think, using all of their TP advantages. They definitely, I think, had to rely on some favors from their opponents as well. FLICKR played a very slow game, couldn't close it out. And these are some baby steps, but they still have a long way to go. And you have to point out again that Wiggily was of the best players to watch, and he is facing off against his first team, Cloud9, and we're going to see if he can have a continuing improvement here on the LCS stage, and if he can really look to step up and help to collect some wins for this team.
And it's going to be a tall task to take down Cloud9 today when they're looking like a top 2 team with really only Liquid standing out above them right now.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people were talking about, oh, okay, well, the top 3 is probably Liquid, TSM, C9. Well, TSM just lost. C9, you know, we'll see how they perform here today. But they played so well around Vision yesterday, and that was really the most interesting thing about that game for me.
Yeah.
Yesterday, you know, Licorice was saying he's the best top laner in the league, and I think you have to agree with him based on the performances that he has shown this split. A lot of the other top guys that we were expecting to perform had been struggling, and he has been consistently great. And the team has looked really, really good around him.
Yeah, I rewatched the game last night just to keep a closer eye on exactly when things took off and how Cloud9 got that victory. And it was actually a very close game up until about 15 minutes. Only a couple hundred gold separated the teams. It was kill for kill essentially around the top lane. And then from the 15 to 30 minute mark, it was just Cloud9 controlling everything. It looked, the map status for Golden Guardians looked like some random solo queue match where no one wanted to buy a ward because they could have bought a longsword instead. There was no vision anywhere, and Cloud9 just choked them out of the game.
And a lot of that was you know, not necessarily because Golden Guardians was doing such a bad job. It was because C9 was doing such a heavy investment into vision. And it's specifically because they're running these poke comps. They were running Zoe Ezreal, right? And there's like 8, 10 pink wards in their inventory at a time, it felt like. They're constantly setting traps around Vision, constantly setting up around the Barret and looking for poke over walls, looking for poke even when they're sieging turrets, you know, blanking out Vision on one side of the map. So Nisqy can be poking over a wall from there, Sneaky can be poking over the wall from somewhere else, and the other team never really gets a chance to actually react to it because they never see it coming.
And just to address the delay on stage that you're seeing on your screen right now, it seems that we might have an issue with Svenskeren's mouse, I believe, that is being investigated. So I hope there's no tongue-related shenanigans going on with the mice anymore for Cloud9, but you can never put anything past NA's #1 meme team, so we'll see how it all works out.
And
Hopefully
they
it gets
do
resolved.
have a 100% win rate when the mouse has been licked.
We have a very small sample size for that, so I don't know how reliable these stats are.
Stats,
but
those are numbers.
Our stats robot is not covered in hot sauce, thanks to last game. So the stats still are uncorrupted.
The stats robot is pretty much crushing in predictions. So
yeah, maybe I actually wonder how good the robot will do by the end of the split. Like, will it stay hot sauce free?
At a certain point, do we have to like revolt and take down the stats bot?
Just
Otherwise,
because it's
we just
smarter than
lose
us?
our jobs. Yeah.
Yeah, we just lose our jobs. We just have
like
a computer sitting here.
We've got like 4 months tops left in the tank here. Before,
We had a good run, boys. We had a good run.
Fully replaced.
We'll just move on to bronze streams full time. The stats robots won't be able to track that.
That's true. There's no stats to figure out that game.
Exactly. Can't track wards because nobody buys them. Ha! Got you, stats robot. But going into this game, what I'm going to be looking at is more coherent gameplay from CLG. That's what I want to see from this team. Because like we said, yesterday's win versus FlyQuest was ahead 7K at one point, and it felt more like FlyQuest failing to lock that win in than CLG really being like, oh, we're clearly the better team here.
Yeah, and we're going to have to do a little quick check-in here on our boy Dash, who I have been informed is struggling.
How you doing, buddy? You're looking a little red.
He's looking, it's toasty. And
yeah.
You have to remember, Dash is a trained actor. Dash the trained actor. Maybe it's not even
It's
hot.
all just fake.
You know?
Yeah. The bloodshot eyes and the red face.
Happiness. Is that the face of a man who is in pain? He's smiling. He's laughing.
It's the face of a man who's very, very red. That's for sure.
We're gonna have to up the heat for the next.
Yeah, whatever if that was a ghost pepper, we need like a super double spooky ghost pepper or something for
twin
next
shadows.
time. Yeah, twin shadows. Exactly. That's a League of Legends brand hot sauce. Just when you thought we'd done it all, we do even more. Welcome to the LCS, as we are into the final game of the day now. Issues have been resolved. Spit may or may not be on the mice. It does not matter. We're jumping into Champion Select for Cloud9 versus CLG, as Lucian, Cassiopeia, and Lissandra will be your first bands.
Mice fully ready to go here. Excited for this one. I want to see if we're going to get any variety more in the top lane. We have seen a little bit. We did get to see Someday bring out the Yorick, and I am hoping to see some of these players bring out some more unique picks. Darshan certainly someone who has not been afraid of that in the past, bringing out things like Fiora, trying to play the split push style, and I'm not sure if these players are willing to kind of break away from that. We have at least seen Urgot banned out for now, so it's not just going to be Urgot versus Aatrox, but Sion's still certainly available, and we do have a lot of those kind of standard options still up on the plate.
And remember last year, Licorice was the guy who brought out the horse, of course, up against the Aatrox, showing an unorthodox pick to counter someone in Haunter who didn't know how to deal with it. And it really succeeded in that game. So Licorice is somebody I also might hope to see a pocket pick out of, see something special, shake things up a little bit. Or we could see a Aatrox showing up for class late again.
That's true. Could be Nisqy. Nisqy has played it once. We haven't seen Licorice yet on this pick, but yeah, definitely would be interesting to see if they do go that route, expecting perhaps a Kai'Sa, but Draven can be a nice answer to the Ezreal if Sneaky wants to go for a more aggressive pick. We have seen Draven globally a number of times throughout this split, has been fairly successful, but it's looking like it will be the Kai'Sa most likely.
And it looks like CLG might be hungry for some spaghetti because they already ordered themselves a meatball. Sion locked in for this team to be that big front line there with Darshan. He was the one who we saw yesterday in the game versus FlyQuest that was almost 50 minutes long.
11,800 HP.
With Gargoyle Stoneplate active, 11,800 HP, about as tanky as a Baron. They unloaded 5 digits worth of damage into him and he didn't die.
And then he healed up with Warmugs.
Yeah, then he just chunks of 1,000 HP coming back. You're like, all right, this is something at this point. As we look back over to Cloud9, it's Kai'Sa and Braum locked in. Counterlogic Gaming responding, hey, you took one of these top 80 carries along with a melee support that can save dudes. Why don't we do the same thing, locking in the Ezreal and the Kench?
Yeah, and we'll see how they're going to perform here. This will be Sneaky's first non-Ezreal game of the split. Had played 3 straight Ezreal games up till now. Really liking that poke style that had been paired so well with the Zoe from Nisqy, so that may be something that CLG is thinking about when taking away that Ezreal, trying to deny some of that style of play that Cloud9 has looked very proficient at.
And remember, Nisqy also in week 1, he got criticized on the first game of the split because, oh, your Zoe was bad in lane. And then game 2, he breaks out the Aatrox and just runs over the entire game. So it could be very possible he's on that champion again, but it looks like both sides are going to be looking towards some mage bans as Vlad and LeBlanc are removed by CLG. Cloud9 takes the Orianna off the table.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that the Vlad ban makes a lot of sense if you're expecting a counter pick perhaps out of Licorice. Klepto Vlad top is something that a lot of players are liking into Sion. Is just a free lane to scale up on. You don't necessarily dominate the Sion because once he's to a cowl, it's hard to really hurt him, but you are going to get a lot of gold. You are going to be able to get to those team fight stages with tons of experience, a couple items, and have an opportunity to take over there.
Because the name of the game in dealing with these pure tanks that just go 6 beef items is, do you have any sustain? Because if you do, they'll never be able to do real meaningful damage to you over time, and Vlad has it built into the kit. So it's not like the Sion will ever be a real threat to him, as the Syndra will be the final ban here of the game. CLG memeing us a little bit, hovering over the Volley Bear. And instead, we switch back to a champion that is more than a minion in disguise. Camille locked in.
Hey, Volibear's win rate's pretty good now on the new patch. Maybe he's like a
not enough thinking emojis, my friend. There are not enough.
You play Skarner.
Yeah, he at least has a net. Volibear's like Skarner without a net. You know what? That is a melee minion.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough. We did see the Orianna banned away from PowerOfEvil. That is certainly a PoE special. Something that he has brought out already this split. 2 games played on the Orianna to varying success, and we are going to get the Lee Sin from Svenskeren. We're seeing so much of this champion, such an exciting 1-2C get played. Has been a lot of really kind of like aggressive junglers today. We've been getting lots of Lee Sin, Camille, Kha'Zix, so been pretty fun. Viktor, I think, fills a similar role to what you can see someone like a Vladimir do to Sion in the top lane. You don't always see the Sion get dominated, but you do see the Viktor with lane pressure. He should have the Sion under his turret. He should be farming it up with Klepto and really getting to a strong state where he can maybe poke down some of those turret plates or take over elsewhere.
CLG hovering over Nico, which is a pick we don't see a lot of. Also now switching over to another uncommon one. I feel like I'm just being baited here, Ezreal. I feel like
I wouldn't be surprised to see Ahri from PoE. The Nico would have surprised me more, but I think Glacial Augment Ahri could make some sense. Looks like it will instead be the Zilean, though. This is definitely a very kind of defensive comp. When you have Zilean, you have Ezreal, you have Tahm, Kench, Sion. They really do want to kind of take these fights more slowly, it feels like. Get to those later stages where the Ezreal is going to be nigh on unassailable, and they're going to have a really strong front line, and definitely be able to try to take over in that regard. At the same time, lots of early game power. Lane priority should certainly be going in both the solo lanes over to C9. You pair that with an aggressive jungler, and you can make things happen.
And I want to spend a second talking about this Viktor pick here, because you and I were actually talking about this the other day, about how we've seen this pick grabbed by a couple teams, a couple players so far in the LCS, and it just hasn't really succeeded in the way that they've wanted it to. It almost feels like the second coming of NA Jace is NA Viktor. And we talked about how Licorice, you said, this guy, you would have to agree with his sentiment that he's the best top laner in the league right now. Maybe this is the guy that can sort of dispel that NA Viktor vibe and really showcase what the champion is picked for.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how he's actually going to be able to perform on it, because, as you say, like, I have really not been impressed with Viktor overall so far in North America. It has not looked very strong. A lot of the players are even losing lane with it, and it is very much kind of for that lane dominance. So we'll see if he can get another win on it here today. He did win against 100 Thieves on the pick. 1, 2, and 6, and not really super dominant in that game, but definitely at least did pick up a victory.
Well, we've got everyone loading into the Rift right now. Once again, it is the final game of the day, the final game of the week for Cloud9. This takes you to 3-1 if you win it. For CLG, this could mean breaking even at the end of week 2. Pretty big deal for both of these squads as we head out onto the Rift. Nisqy once again on that Aatrox like I talked about. We've seen him play it before, and he impressed. Let's see if he can repeat that here today.
Yeah, I mean, especially after the week 1 that CLG had, if they can come out here, be 2-2 after 2 weeks, they're going to be very, very happy with the improvements that will have meant. Also going to be interested to track the build here from Licorice up in the top lane. Do want to track not only the item build, but also the skill order, because generally, my understanding of how this should go is if you are playing into tanks, it's more about the wave clear, it's more about the Emax, and if you're in matchups where you could get all in, that's when you go for more the Qmax for the shielding and trying to kind of survive that and be able to stay alive. So there's those options. There's also the differences between, are you going to go full AP, more for a team fight style, you're going Iceborne and trying to just like kite it out and split push. So lots of options with this champion, and excited to see where Licorice takes it.
Very diverse in what he can do. Has quite a few different routes that can be pursued, and we'll see how well Darshan's able to use this Sion here as well. Like we already commented, he was one of the big reasons that CLG was ultimately able to overcome that FlyQuest lead yesterday and find their win, because their opponents didn't really have an engage condition, and even if they did, they had to go into this massive brick wall. So if Darshan can make that happen, that could be a win condition here for CLG, is just having that huge presence up the front line. Because if you look at Cloud9, your biggest frontliner is Braum.
Yeah.
So not really the same presence there.
Yeah, definitely not. I mean, Aatrox can certainly create a lot of space, but in a different way.
Right.
As he's kind of charging forward.
It's the I'm going to kill you kind of space as opposed to the try to kill
Run
me.
away or you die.
Yeah.
But it will be interesting. I mean, there's always that risk when you are playing pushing matchups that you can be getting kind of preyed on by the enemy jungler, right? As Viktor, if you have the Sion shoved in under his turret, if you're poking him out, if you're trying to get a chip on those turret plates, well, Camille plus Sion is a pretty powerful ganking duo, right? There's CC, there's slows there, especially post 6, you're going to get locked down. So that is fairly dangerous, but we'll see how well they can actually track out Wiggily and how well Svenskeren can kind of match or kind of counter gank.
Yeah, both these junglers having the potential to pop off early. I mean, we've seen a lot of Lee. We've seen plenty of Camille ever since she sort of made that transition from being mostly a top laner to being mostly a jungler. Sort of the age of the Scuttle Crabs, showcasing how strong the level 2 junglers can be. And mid lane, you're going to see Nisqy just getting the better of PowerOfEvil here for now. Nice job getting the flash out of him there very early. PoE making sure he does not commit the same sins who he did last week, where who he flashes diagonally. That is the worst direction you can flash away from the chains because you're still stuck in the box. Yeah. Instead, you see PowerOfEvil flash directly horizontal to the way the chains were issued, makes it so you get out.
Yep, want to try to go straight out the side. It's much skinnier that way. That being said, Nisqy didn't even commit the Ignite, and now he's going to.
Now he's finding the damage, and he finds the dunk. It's actually Svenskeren taking the kill credit, but Cloud9 gets on the board only 3.5 minutes into this game.
Just impressive laning here, honestly, from Nisqy. Getting the flash without having to commit any summoners. Then both summoners blown here. He knows he can look for this kill. Svenskeren's coming around the side. Dashes right in. Flash hits the Umbral chain. And the safeguard flashes forward, hits him with the Tempest there. Really nicely done from this duo.
And the angle that he applied that chain at made it so the fastest path back to PowerOfEvil's turret was also that path that I just described of walking into the diagonal where you can't get out of the chains. Really wonderfully done overall there, just optimized in terms of making sure his opponent was going to be stuck, and it sets him up for the kill. You can tell Nisqy's got experience on this champion.
Yeah, it definitely does. Certainly one of his most impressive champions. Had a really strong game, as you said, last week on it, completely dominating. Didn't get the first blood this time around, but certainly still going to be really happy to have gotten that early kill. And Lee Sin with an early first blood is definitely someone who can really benefit from it.
Oh yeah, bottom side, you're just going to see everybody sort of taking little pot shots at each other. I swear that thing looked like it was in turret range.
Yeah, I know.
That was
really weird.
That was
the same thing.
Very odd, but it's not going to be. The creeps are pretty much equalized bottom side, and it looks like nothing too exciting is going to happen other than that. Mid lane being the real difference so far here in this game. TP coming into bottom side. Always worth pointing out when you do have that difference between the AD carries. Teleport for Stixxay, heal for Sneaky. It means an extra combat summoner for Cloud9, but as the game goes on, it will mean more overall map pressure for the side of CLG.
Definitely will, and it's also worth tracking the fact that it was a Sheen buy. This is not a tier rush, so this is much more for combat power immediately. It's much more for trying to poke out your opponent, trying to dominate that lane. So he feels like they can have pressure on this lane. They can make things happen, and we'll see if he's right, because if you allow yourself to get pushed in right after TPing back, you're going to give C9 the opportunity to reset for free. So they need to try to freeze this, and not really. Okay, well, it's outside the turret range, but I don't think it's actually enough because the wave is going to stack, and those minions, I think, are too low health. So I think it's still going to push towards C9, so Sneaky will get that good reset.
And Stixxay not going for the tier rush. I mean, it's always an issue on any champion that builds a tier because you want to get it maxed out as quickly as possible. But for a champion like Ezreal that these days is a true hybrid and will often go for these double tier builds, delaying that actually means your second tier item is probably not going to come online until around 30 minutes.
Yeah, and that being said, we have seen some players just opt out of the second tier, right? You can do things like you just go third item, Blade of the Rune King or Gunblade. You just skip that and you say, all right, we're playing for now, we're playing for the immediate power, and that is a stronger kind of immediate option. Very rarely, I have also seen some stuff where people just go like a Ludens instead of that Seraphs if they want to go for some more kind of hybrid AP damage and don't want to spend the time actually stacking it up.
Ezreal really just has evolved to the point where, I remember when the champion was released, he was actually everything in the game. He was like a hybrid mage, healer, AD, assassin, displacement, support, tank, whatever. He was actually just everything. And then over time, they've sort of trimmed the kit down and made it so he still has the feeling to be this hybrid character. You could play him AD or AP, but this is the first time in the Champions iteration after the W change that I really feel like you can build both together and it's still a successful champion, which is a very unique identity for him.
Yeah, it really is, and it's also kind of cool to see that in pro, right? Because a lot of these things, sometimes you see some wacky builds in solo queue or whatever, but not really making it to the pro level, and definitely has become the norm to see things like Stork Boots, to see Gunblade even, you know, the double tier builds. Has been quite strong, and nice little interaction there. You can see the mini silence. It's like a channel interrupt actually on that Viktor ultimate, so just interrupting the queue there, stopping that knockup coming through from Darshan, and Licorice is ahead, not massively so as he misses the cannon, but
Unlucky.
he is
You
going to be...
jinxed him.
Yeah, unfortunately. He is farming up, and it is, again, more about having the lane pressure.
We'll see Nisqy moving into the enemy jungle now, recognizing the fact that he's still got a 20 CS lead over his opponent. Tries to go in, find Q1 onto Wiggily, but doesn't hit it. Q2 lands onto the red buff. Zeyzal's mid lane, Svenskeren coming up behind him just to make sure they can continue to pressure the enemy jungle. They want to move in, try to keep this out of the hands of Wiggily.
Exactly, and that's why Nisqy actually went up to buy time for Zeyzal and Svenskeren to get up here so they could take this away. But PowerOfEvil is coming, so is Darshan, and so is the TP.
This could be a battle. No level 6 available onto Wiggily. However, PowerOfEvil does have the ability to bring him back to life. It's going to be a kill onto Svenskeren by Darshan to start things off. Zeyzal looking to get himself away. Darshan escapes over the wall, but Stixxay grabs the kill onto Zeyzal here. We're going to see Biofrost continue to try to run. Nisqy looking for damage. One more hit would have been able to do it, but Licorice is now in danger himself. Wiggily needs one more hit to do it. There comes your damage. It's going to be 3 over to the side of CLG. Nisqy now stuck behind enemy lines, not able to find the kill, and disaster for Cloud9.
Wow, that is 4 kills, I believe, in the extended play there for CLG to 0. So, huge payoff for CLG. It's C9 that want to make this play, but it was very obvious what they were trying to do. It took them quite a while to do it. The TP comes through. PowerOfEvil is able to get the Resurrect down. Svenskeren falls, Licorice roams over, but Nisqy was not here to start. Licorice was not here to start, and that TP coming through from Biofrost, very big, and the ultimate coming through from PowerOfEvil was just huge. And then Nisqy wasn't able to actually proc the Braum passive on to Biofrost. He was 1 auto short, so he barely survived, and then not able to finish off Darshan. And that is a very frustrating fight and gonna swing things certainly the way of CLG.
That is the Zilean dream. Your opponents overinvest into killing one of your players because they think they have the damage to get in and get out. You stop that, you shut it down, and you set up a 4-for-0 counterplay. Very good job there from CLG, and that's what I said I wanted to see from this team in Champion Select, is more cohesion, more coherent team play coming out from these 5 guys who we really want to see just honestly have more of those gears turning in the same direction. They've seemed a little haphazard so far, and plays like that give me hope for CLG.
Definitely the case. And I mean, in their one win, they really kind of felt like they were reliant on their opponent's mistakes, their opponent's inability to close the game. So, seeing great proactive plays like that, where they can respond that quickly, where they can, call for a pretty gutsy play like that to answer, is certainly a promising sign. But kind of crazy that with 4 kills to 0 in that fight, the gold is basically still even.
I mean, when you look at the spread between the matchups, you've got a CS lead in top lane, you've got a CS lead in mid lane, you've got Kleptomancy on the Viktor that's also providing extra gold. Big CS lead in the jungle for the side of Cloud9 as well. C9 would actually be running away with the game right now if it wasn't for those big unforced errors in the enemy jungle that CLG was able to punish.
Yeah, so definitely very, very big for CLG, and we'll see what they can continue to do with it. They have already grabbed themselves 1 Ocean Dragon. Second one to be up here in 20 seconds, so could be looking towards that. And double Ocean would be quite nice for this composition. I mean, it's 5 mana bars, but not just that. I mean, this is a lot of poke, and it's going to kind of deny it from your opponents, deny their ability to heal up through things like the Ezreal poke, and keep both the Zilean and the Ezreal from really ever running out of mana.
That's one of the things I always consider when you look at neutral objectives in League of Legends. It's not just how much do we care about this, it's how much do we care about them not having.
Yeah.
And when you're super poke heavy, your opponent's having 2 or 3 Ocean Drakes is really, really bad. You've got to keep that off the table. CLG will do a good job controlling that one for now, but uh-oh, it's Shelly, top lane. It's a commit from C9 trying to get some turret plating money here early on. Darshan will do what he can to hit that eyeball, try to stop Shelly from grabbing a 3rd one here. Should be able to do it rather easily. Yep. There's your bop with the hammer, so CLG will manage to give up 2 plates for that Ocean Drake. So Cloud9 at least grabbed themselves about a kill's worth of gold from it. But now Darshan is just going to say, get the hell out of my gym.
Yep, takes away that big rug, so nicely done by him. And yeah, I mean, it's a nice answer for CLG, right? They are able to grab that 2nd Ocean, and I always look at Ocean, when I think about that, I think about poke for and against, right? It's about healing it up, and it's about, empowering your pokers to keep going. So it's going to be a nice one, certainly for CLG, and now it's their turn to invade on the bottom side.
Deja vu. I've seen this play before, but it was the other way around. CLG now seeing if they can do what Cloud9 could not, and the answer is no. Wiggily tried to go for the red there, but Svenskeren was better on the smite and was able to make sure that he collected it for himself. I actually think that it was just Wiggily doing a miss smite and Svenskeren picking it up afterwards. But PowerOfEvil will now see if maybe he can just annoy his opponent a little bit longer. Instead, hoofs it back to lane. He's still down about 10 CS, but that's not too bad considering how bleak things look at the start of the lane.
Yeah.
And you're on Zilean, right? You're on a more supportive mid laner, so if you fall slightly behind, it doesn't feel as bad as if you're at as if you are something like a LeBlanc that would need to 100-0 someone, or you're just not nearly as effective.
Yeah, definitely the case. Plus, I always look at Zilean as someone who does have a bit of a weaker early phase, as Svenskeren is going to have to run.
Nisqy trying to find some damage here down onto his opponent, but Biofrost doing a good job on this Tahm Kench, keeping his jungler safe. Nisqy having popped the World Ender does mean this could be trouble for the side of Cloud9 as Svenskeren gets himself away out of the Hextech Ultimatum and the bombs. True Shot Barrage going to glide on by as well as it happens to find its way onto Licorice merely by accident, giving Darshan a win in that trade.
Little assist up in the top lane as it looks like Biofrost trying to set up for an ult down to bottom. Potential dive here on a sneaky.
Cut Cloud9 off. 2 TPs coming in. This is a massive commit from CLG, but this could be a mistake as well. Stasis coming in. Darshan running straight at them, seeing if maybe he can make this happen. But for all the resources poured into this bucket, Cloud9 just saying, no thank you. See you later.
Train ran off the tracks there. Darshan not able to connect.
Derailed.
Yeah, it does get derailed. We'll see who gets it first. That is going to be a ton of armor on this turret with 4 members around as the plate went down. Licorice is up on the top side. I assume they're going to get it first.
Turret plating fell
Very
right
close.
at the very end. Yeah, it was a race, but CLG will at least claim that for themselves. Licorice will likely mop up this turret here in just a moment, bringing the gold back to practically even. Licorice starting to get himself back as... For CLG, you really hate to see that. You commit 2 teleports.
5-man bot. It's a solo queue classic.
5-man bot, the solo queue classic. But in solo queue, normally your opponents don't know what the hell is going on, and you just kill both of them, and then they complain and question mark ping their team.
Start pinging the jungler.
Yeah. In this situation, why are 5 bot? XDDDDD, FF15 go next.
Because you're pushing up and dying.
Yeah. But this game, Cloud9 was running, they're just like, and they're the ones saying, why are 5 bot? So... Not really a big issue there for Cloud9. The game actually back in their favor for gold.
Yeah, very, very, very close though. I mean, sneaky.
Oh, that was cheeky.
Thanks for the leash.
Yeah, TY for leash, less than 3 in the all chat.
It was a nice escape though from Zeyzal and Sneaky. Credit where credit is due. Was a slick getaway there, and Darshan not able to connect, but yeah, we're pretty much dead even, and it's just going to come down to how these 2 teams do perform. We did talk about the strength of this team fighting composition for CLG, how durable they are.
Yeah.
When you look at Tahm Kench, Zilean, the picks are going to be really hard. When you look at Darshan here on the side, he is going to be very hard to punch through as well. So it's going to have to be some really strong team fighting, I think, from C9 to be able to manage it.
We talked about FlyQuest's Achilles heel in their game yesterday against CLG being the fact that they didn't have enough engage. They had Lee Sin. That was their biggest engage in that FlyQuest game. Cloud9's biggest engage this game is Lee Sin.
Yeah.
That's what you've got. So you either have to continue trying to punish CLG mistakes, like making them overcommit to what they did in bottom lane, or you just have to be really, really good at setting things up with some kind of an insect play because the tools are limited.
Yeah, and that's where playing around vision becomes really important, right? Getting those picks out of fog, and that's something that they did do excellently yesterday. So we'll see as they are going to go over towards this Mountain Dragon. That is another way that you can kind of force your opponents into fighting you. You also have the option of trying to win through split push, trying to stay in that side lane for Licorice, but they're looking for a pick on him now.
Oh boy, that's a lot of CC coming down.
Ouch.
You got some initiation potential on CLG. They're gonna grab the pick onto the enemy top laner. Licorice evaporates as PowerOfEvil quickly finds himself witness to the power of Nisqy. As the Glacial Fissure comes over the wall, CLG feels a little chilly, but they're not too worried about it. As the Mountain Drake is now vulnerable, Biofrost gives it a lick, and that starts things off.
Yeah, it should be there as easy peasy with that pick onto Licorice. Really nicely done by Darshan, catching him out, and Stixxay certainly there very quickly to follow it up. C9's going to try to shove, going to try to take away some jungle camps, getting kind of the lesser of the 2 rewards, but certainly trying to get what they can where they can.
And honestly, besides that, if we forget the bottom lane thing happened, CLG's been looking pretty good.
Yeah, they have. And even that, I mean, they got first turret. It wasn't all bad,
it wasn't
right?
completely useless.
here it is one more time. Darshan straight in, catches him. There's a pretty big AoE for the knockup with that ultimate, catches him with a few afterwards. Then Nisqy and PowerOfEvil dueling it out. And yeah, Nisqy is winning, but you're not going to kill him in time. And that was interrupted by that glacial fissure there from Zeyzal, stopping the Tahm Kench ultimate. Really nicely done.
I like how you call it dueling it out, but it's essentially like looking at a guy in the gym beating up a punching bag and saying, oh, crazy duel we got here. Nisqy just taking some lumps. Not Nisqy, Nisqy giving some lumps, excuse me. PowerOfEvil not exactly having a lot to do in that 1v1.
PowerOfEvil is scaling.
Yeah, he's ready. He's building up. He's building up.
Of the duel.
He's got the Luden's Echo ready to go, so he will be able to put down some damage if he can find those bombs onto the appropriate targets.
He's got that CDR, and that's really a lot of what you need. I mean, he's going to be sitting on a tremendous amount of CDR. You know, he does have the Inspiration Secondary, so he's already at 45, you know, with CDR boots, Ludens, as well as, you know, 5% from Inspiration, 10% from Sorcery. So the ultimate cooldown is so low.
It's already sub 50
rank
seconds.
2. Yeah, it's 49 seconds. So with rank 3, it's like that's where it just gets the absurd stages where someone could just int at the start of the fight, you ult them,
run it down,
and then the ult's gonna come back up. Especially if it's Darshan, right? You engage with impunity. You just charge in there, knowing you have the Zilean to back you up.
You know what's scarier than a Sion with 11,000 health? 2 Sions with 11,000 health. Or
3.
If it's like that game that we saw with Bjergsen in week number 1, 3 Sions with 11,000 health. We can count all the way up as long as they can't kill him within that 30 seconds window.
Let's be honest here.
All right. Yeah, we aren't the stats robot. Covered in hot sauce or not, we don't have the numbers skill so far to match that one. But CLG looks like they're having the team play skill to force down this mid lane tier 1. Darshan's just going to try to zone everybody else away. Stixxay wants to find some damage onto that tier 1, but can't quite do it. CLG not getting that objective just yet. Cloud9 hold the line as PowerOfEvil continues, just trying to find little bits and pieces of damage here onto Nisqy. Does end up eating a lot of pain himself. Pops the ulti and has to run away. Nisqy continuing the chase here, has to step through a bit of a minefield to continue going after him, and just goes right back into the minion wave.
Svenskeren is around though. He really should have spotted him, so yeah, it's gonna back off, but it does at least force the ultimate there, but as we said, 49-second cooldown, so not a big deal.
It's already halfway done.
C9 feeling like they are a bit up against it because you know you were expecting to get some advantages from mid and top at the edge.
The ult cooldown may be short, but it is not short enough. Good use of the flash there from Svenskeren to find Cloud9 a kill.
We'll see if they can get anything else from this. They're trying to get a pick onto Licorice.
Oh, nice
you're trapped
flash there from Licorice to get away from the initial Sion ulti, but you flash right into the pit. The reinforcements are on the way, and he gets sent to a watery grave.
Yeah, honestly, really well-angled ultimate from Darshan. He kind of cut off his path of escape, right? The only way he could really get out of there, it looked like, was flashing into the pit, which means no escape as Biofrost and the rest come down. C9 is trying to shove up here on the top side, but they're not even going to be able to get this.
Let's echo back to what we were talking about in Champion Select as well, about NA Viktor, and how it seems like the champion's just not having the success that players and teams are seemingly drafting it for.
Yeah.
And Licorice, 0-3-0 on the Viktor. Yeah, you've got a 15 CS lead over Sion, but you're expected to have a CS lead over Sion as Viktor. This isn't winning the lane. This is the expectation of how this goes. That's one thing that I always look at when people say, oh, well, he won the lane. Well, of course he won the lane. He's Viktor versus Sion. You can't lose the lane. It's how much did he win the lane by? Is it enough to make it worth? And right now, this Sion is saying, hell no.
Yeah, I mean, the Sion's going to be incredibly happy with where we're sitting in the game. And it does kind of beg the question of, is it more of a scrim pick? That was always, you know, when I talk to pros about the whole NAJs thing, it's like, well, yeah, but it always works in scrims, right? Because people play more aggressively in scrims. They're more loose with the fights they take. And then picks that have the range advantage, that can poke you out, can get larger edges when people are not willing to take that disadvantage. Whereas, you know, in a pro game, on stage, Darshan, he's getting poked out, he's down 10 CS, all right, whatever, you'll take that.
Yeah, that's fine.
The lane, you get poked out again, and then Sion, well, you just ult back to lane that time. So there's a lot of ways to kind of sustain that, and it does make it more difficult. And when you look at the fact that Svenskeren didn't get way ahead of Wiggily because that invade went so bad on the top side, that was where kind of a lot of their game plan was sitting, right? Getting the edge in the solo lanes and transferring that into the jungle.
Now the gold is still staying very close so far this game. 22 minutes in, not even 1,000 gold separating the teams. CLG, while they seem to be able to make some plays so far, have not really been able to turn it into much else. The objective game still very close, but there's your Hextech ultimatum. There's some extra damage. Svenskeren goes into the stasis. Biofrost with a very clutch save on the allied jungler, only in time for PowerOfEvil to keep him alive here as well. World Ender will bring the resurrection state for Nisqy, who tries to get himself away into the Baron pit, but is blown away by the bombs and Stixxay.
Yeah, they're not going to start up the Baron just yet, feeling it's too early in the game, but that was so close to killing off Wiggily. He gets to devour it up at a couple HP. Looks like the Ignite is going to take him down. The last pick is actually ulted by PowerOfEvil, so saved doubly there, and they will get the kill. They will get the mid lane turret. And C9 have got to figure something out here. They've got to figure out a way to approach this game. They're trying to pair up Svenskeren and Nisqy, trying to look for these kind of 2v1 plays on the side. But it's going to be so damn tough. I just don't think with his composition you can win straight up 5v5 front-to-back style team fights. You need to find some sort of flank. You need to find some sort of a miracle kick and pick. But then there's Zilean and Tahm Kench that are answering that also.
And let me just say, Biofrost has been on point this game. The saves have been there. He's making sure he's gobbling up the targets at exactly the right time. And even he takes Wiggily into the Devour, immediately spits him out because PowerOfEvil is saying, just spit him out so I can res him. And then he immediately brings him back. He's right into the fight. PowerOfEvil is farmed enough. He's got enough AP that the Chrono Shift brings you back with a lot of health.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you can turn things right back around onto Nisqy. And normally you look at Aatrox, Ezreal, and you think, hey, this guy's hard to kill. He comes back to life. But when you look at him compared to a team with Zilean and Tahm Kench, all of a sudden he doesn't look quite so tough.
Yeah, it's really, really tough. And then when people are kind of talking about, okay, well, how do you answer a Zilean? Why is Zilean so strong? It's generally about being able to actually focus multiple targets, pressuring multiple people so that it's hard to know who to ult, and he ults one person but another dies, and so on and so forth. But it's tough for C9 to really do that. And they're going to have, I think, a very heavy reliance on Sneaky and his consistent damage. If they're going to want to have success in these team fights, but he is getting poked away at. There's going to be a Sion running at him. He's going to have to work through that. So it's definitely going to be an uphill battle here for C9, and it's CLG already starting two-man on the Baron. They have double Mountain, mind you, so it can go down very quick.
And this goes back to what I was saying as well about Lee Sin being the main engage for Cloud9, really the only engage. Oh. It's single target. That means whoever he kicks can be rezzed by PowerOfEvil. This could be a game-determining fight right here, though. It's Baron taken down to about 4K. Nisqy going in over the wall. CLG have to try to find a way to fight their way out of this one. Darshan on the front line going to be soaking up a lot of damage. Nisqy immediately into the resurrection. Stixxay over the wall, keeping himself alive. Svenskeren goes away first. Darshan is still soaking the pressure. CLG get themselves one. Everyone else is okay for now, but the health bars are limited. Darshan goes over the wall, takes the blast cone. CLG decides, all right, let's get out of town.
Yeah, so the revive again, saving someone, but they don't have enough damage to punch through the other targets. That was pretty close, though, to starting to kind of pinball C9's way, as Sneaky had worked down Darshan to the low HP. A number of them were pretty low, but Darshan coming in on the flank.
Oh, Licorice into the stasis will buy a little bit of time, but it is not going to be enough. Darshan goes on a killing spree with this Sion. Sneaky has been shut down, and all of a sudden, the light switches to green for CLG's Baron. Once again, this team is looking good, Ezreal.
It is theirs for sure. They feel like they have just outplanned, outthought C9, shutting down that early game invade, shutting down the C9 snowball. And this comp feels like it's almost checkmated them.
Let's take another look at how this happened here. Look at the TP coming in from Darshan to cut off Licorice's escape.
Yeah, this is just beautiful. Licorice stopwatching in the brush, and he's not great against that wall. That is a pretty wide wall to flash. You have to be hugging against that. He gets knocked down. Sneaky gets knocked down. And it's thanks to that great deep vision that CLG had gotten down as a squad, giving Darshan that TP ward to get to.
I mean, what are you going to do? You try to walk up. You try to save your own top laner. In strolls Darshan. What's up? I'm bigger than you. Go away. You can't go anywhere near him. Licorice is thrown under the bus. 0, 4, and 0 on this Viktor. Is going for more of a carry damage style build, but he's behind to the point where it's not that effective.
Yeah, I mean, I think it is the right choice because you have to have enough damage where you can threaten multiple targets, as I said, but they are very far behind. It's extremely hard for them to ever actually threaten Stixxay, who's now on 4 items with so much protection.
And honestly, he's not as far behind as I thought because I just checked the gold and he does have the Kleptomancy. It's keeping his gold relatively even with other players on his team. You can see around that 9,000 mark for multiple people on the side of Cloud9, a few on the side of CLG as well. But the big difference this game is going to be Stixxay. But into the middle of the fight goes Wiggily, who's going to issue the Hextech ultimatum, keeping himself alive. There's multiple health bars being threatened to the side of CLG. Zeyzal's able to find himself one. Stixxay going to be taken down. Nisqy looking for even more. Power of Evil expires, and Wiggily and Darshan stand alone. Darshan says, see you later, as Wiggly's forced to run, and Cloud9, as they finally find what you were talking about. They threaten everyone at once, and they just destroy CLG.
And it looks like Darshan was not with the team at the start of that fight. I believe he was down in the side lane, so no TP available. C9 says, let's go. They bring Nisqy in from the back. He's threatening the back line while Wiggily is going forward and dying to the front line. So here's Darshan down on the bottom side. C9 make the correct call. This is just a great flank from Nisqy. So you're going to see Nisqy applies pressure to the back line. And as Wiggily gets kicked in by Svenskeren, just great stuff from him. He has to be ulted up. But meanwhile, Power of Evil is low. Biofrost is getting targeted. Stixxay is being jumped onto. And Darshan is just now arriving. That is how you can peel apart this composition. And that is huge for C9 because it kills off so much of the Baron buff power for them.
Yeah. And CLG, right before that fight broke out, I was saying the biggest difference in the gold between the two teams right now is the 80 carry stat.
Yeah.
Stixxay about 2,000 gold ahead. He is going for the double tier hyper carry build, and that second one is almost stacked. It'll be around 29, 30 minutes that you see that fully evolve. It's a 680 out of 750 right now. Cloud9 still trying to defend against the CLG push. You've got Svenskeren on the side.
Yeah, they're trying to set up for a potential flank. You can see Nisqy was shoving out bot lane, then we'll roam up and they'll try to threaten from multiple sides. But I think as soon as CLG is as 5, C9 probably cannot pull off that same style of fight. So I think they're really just trying to buy time. There's one more wave of Baron empowered minions, so clear this out, hold on, and then you will have kind of withstood that storm.
Look at Stixxay's positioning. He's so aggressive. He can arcane shift forward because Biofrost is right behind him with the Devour. There's no real danger there for Stixxay, as more pressure will be applied to the tier 3 turret. But as you said, that was really your last Baron-empowered wave, and with Baron buff expiring, CLG sort of just has to back away here. Licorice will be able to clear the waves effortlessly with the help of the rest of the team there too, and that means that the call is now Ocean Drake to the side of CLG, who despite the fact that they had that flub in the mid lane, still command a 4K lead.
Yeah, still doing well by all means, but that Baron power play was an uninspiring 900 gold. Certainly, nothing to write home about there. They're going to be happy they took it, but still, that does buy C9 another opportunity because it wasn't looking all CLG all the time. It was looking like they could potentially close out the game, but they need to stay grouped. Their power is as a squad. They're so much weaker in these individual skirmishes, in these individual pieces. They work so well as a unit because they're so unassailable with a massive front line, the consistent damage coming through, and the revives, but you need everything there or it can all start to fall apart.
All the pieces have to come together for this team, and I really want to applaud them because this game is actually very reminiscent of the one yesterday in terms of how their opponents are struggling to deal with them because they have no engage. But the difference is, yesterday it mostly felt like CLG being behind, hanging back, waiting for FlyQuest to make a mistake. This game, CLG have seemed much more proactive.
Yeah.
They've seemed to really understand where Cloud9 are vulnerable and where they can make their own kinds of plays, and they've seemed more comfortable.
Yeah, and they have not shied away at all from making those plays, right? Biofrost TPing up to contest the red buff at early game, getting the kills there. Darshan with a great TP flank later on, and C9 is laying in wait. This is a bait. There's two behind them.
Zeyzal's jumped on, but now Nisqy's into the back line yet again. Biofrost looking to save Stixxay, but Wiggly's in some trouble. He's going to be isolated out and shut down. CLG having to run themselves away now. Nisqy still with the World Ender. Bloodwell is full, but then it expires. CLG bite off more than they can chew, and Cloud9 with the patience and the setup will punish.
Yeah, Zeyzal just playing the bait perfectly there, walking forward, acting like he's trying to solo defend this turret, acting like he is extended too far up, but it's Nisqy and Svenskeren lying in wait behind that bush, ready to pounce.
I love setting up those kinds of plays. You tell your support, okay, man, act like you're stupid. Just walk up there, be like, oh man, what am I gonna do? And then you immediately turn it around. You immediately turn it around. Exactly what Cloud9 needed to do. Because like you said, when they just run at CLG 5v5, it doesn't work out. That's not the way the comps are really drafted to function this time around. So Cloud9's got to get creative. They got to get smart. They got to MacGyver something.
Yep.
And they just did it.
They definitely have. And You know, Nisqy is scaling up, right? He's on those 3 items. He has stopwatch, likely working towards the Zhonya's. This is an AP-style Kai'Sa build. So we'll see how effective he's going to be able to be at actually shredding through this front line, as Darshan is going to be a beast, and they are squatted up this time.
Darshan going in. Svenskeren taking some damage, but he has a Guardian Angel, so CLG are a bit hesitant to go in super hard onto him. Darshan popping a Stone Plate. It's not 12,000, but it's still about 8K on this Sion. Not somebody that you're going to do a lot of damage to just yet. PowerOfEvil not having to expend the ultimate there means CLG still feel very comfortable doing whatever they need to do, knowing somebody's going to be revivable.
And if there's ever an objective that you can make the other team fight you at, it's the Baron. C9 know they can't afford to give up another Baron, so CLG will simply get their pink wards around there. You can see 3 in the area, and they are having Darshan face check these brushes, clear it up. Everyone from CLG is behind him in case C9 commits to him. It's a very tough position for C9 to be in. As you say, they need to get creative. They need to find ways to keep vision around the Baron so they're aware if it's starting, and maybe even just try to opt into a steal instead of a fight.
They are doing a good job of closing the gold gap as well. It's not like they're even just maintaining it, because as you already stated earlier, maintaining the exact same gold lead as time goes on, it depreciates in value because everybody just has considerably closer inventories. But actually closing it makes the game even closer than that. It's practically even ground at this point in time. Unless you count the Drakes, which are honestly worth quite a lot for the side of CLG. Stixxay going to be tanking the Baron, goes over the wall now, looking to find some damage onto Svenskeren, who's taken very low and immediately goes into the Resurrection on the GA. Nisqy now looking to cause some disruption himself. World Ender is going to cause him to revive here now too. Biofrost barely going to be kept alive. Svenskeren gets himself out. Nisqy gets himself out. CLG has managed to pop 2 reses in the ultimate of Nisqy and the Guardian Angel of Svenskeren, but they can't get any kills.
They can't get any kills, but it didn't even cost them the ultimate from PoE, so they're just going to TP right back in and say, all right, round 2.
Come on,
we
boys.
still have that all-important Zilean ultimate, and C9 don't really have anything. Licorice has to flash out. Svenskeren's without GA or ult. He's low. Nisqy is low. There's no real way for them to enter, so again, they have to go for these guerrilla tactics, shove up the mid lane, try to avoid them, but with double mountain, CLG is just two-mating the Baron.
Double mountain and those 3 oceans. This is why I commented it looks so even unless you consider the Drakes, because the ocean will heal them up. The mountains make a 2-man so easy to do, and CLG will find the Baron.
Really well maneuvered here by CLG, playing a very intelligent game around that Baron, knowing their advantages, knowing that C9 would be forced to fight them. You can't avoid Darshan if you have to go to Darshan.
No, when the entirety of what you're playing for at that time involves standing on what Sion is standing on, things get a little bit dicey, as the final elemental Drake of the game will spawn, with it being that 3rd mountain. If CLG gets this, it is a 6 Drake game for them with triple ocean, triple mountain. That is the opposite of a garage sale. That is a wonderful antique collection of priceless artifacts.
Just delightful.
Yeah, it's absolutely a pleasure to see for the side of CLG, and a nightmare for Cloud9, as they will now have to deal with a team of CLG that can decimate structures and easily heal off any poke that C9 tries to find through the Kai'Sa and the Viktor.
And I mean, if you get a 6 Dragon Elder, we saw 6 Dragons earlier today. I still don't think I've ever seen a 6 Dragon Elder.
Yeah.
Like, that is
it's
an
315
absurd.
true damage burn.
Yeah, I mean, every time Ezreal hits you with the Q,
You die.
you just get absolutely blasted. So
Ezreal
that is
Qs
gonna
will be stronger than
right.
Kai'Sa Ws.
Yeah, I mean, Ezreal Qs are going to be like one-shotting you. Ezreal Qs do a lot of damage. A W
Yeah, he's
Q
full
would
build.
not surprise me if he just killed you with the true damage.
He's full build practically now anyway. He has the BF sword. Both tier items have completed the evolution. True Shot Barrage blocked up by the Unbreakable there. Good job from Zeyzal, making sure that ultimate doesn't do any more damage than it already did. Biofrost pops the ulti to bring PowerOfEvil into the mid lane to grab some more damage onto that tier 3 turret. CLG being careful to not allow themselves to be engaged on, but again, what is the engage even going to be? Svenskeren finds the Sonic Wave, but there's no way for him to make anything really happen there. Stixxay's damage onto Svenskeren and Sneaky is just insane with these Mystic shots, and Cloud9 is succumbing to the same problem FlyQuest did yesterday. We can't engage on the CLG comp. How do we deal with these guys? And CLG is playing it slow. They're playing it comfortable. They know they don't have to force anything ridiculous. Just continue this slow and steady wins the race style.
Yeah, they're just playing such a smart, measured game out here, and you know, Sneaky can barely even touch Darshan. I mean, he's going for the AP Kaisa. We already have the adaptive in, and here comes the fight.
All right, Nisqy says it's time to go. Biofrost immediately going to be keeping Stixxay safe. He tries to get himself away into the back line. Zilean ulti going to be used onto Stixxay, but he hasn't died yet, so that is going to be a waste of the ultimate. That might be something Cloud9 can use. They're able to find the kill down onto Wiggily, but it is going to be a trade 1-for-1 for Nisqy. CLG continuing to look for even more. Darshan wants to chase further. Stixxay and PowerOfEvil both still alive. PoE 1/3 of the cooldown left onto the Chrono Shift. Look at the damage Stixxay does onto the turrets. The Nexus turrets are just completely melting. Cloud9 has to push forward here. They've got to try to defend this. PowerOfEvil only a couple seconds remaining, and then he's got the ultimate ready to go yet again. Stixxay can shift forward with that and just immediately start to pressure the remaining members of Cloud9. Sneaky's got a bomb strapped onto his head. He's going to be taking so much. The Airy for the kill, and that will surely mean the defeat of Cloud9. CLG will bounce back. They will 2-0 week 2, and they will look damn good doing it.
And Darshan looking pumped up there. The whole team playing a really strong game. Their composition was so powerful when played together as this 5-man squad. They denied C9's ability to get ahead in the early game, shutting down that red buff invade, shutting down the advantages from that solo lanes. And when it came time to 5v5, there was no one who could touch Darshan. Deathless in the game on the Sion. It was like he was being tickled in these fights.
Yeah, and their opponents, like we said, the tankiest thing you have is a Braum or an Aatrox because he can revive himself.
Yep.
There just was no response. And if nothing else, I think we learned this week, you've got to have some engage against CLG because this team knows how to play against a team that's trying to just do that style of, oh, we'll out-macro you, we don't need engage, we can just avoid the fights and win through the map. It didn't work.
It really didn't. I mean, you have to really execute on the early game if you're going to play this style, right? And we have seen teams time and time again now go for this sort of strategy, and it obviously can work, right? If you can execute perfectly, if you can get ahead, you can maybe close out the game before they can come online, before they can group up and get to that team fight style stage. But a lot of these teams, it takes one mistake, it takes one small thing, or perhaps even just some hesitation, and they get enough time, they get to this stage. We've seen a number of Ezreal games here where he just looks untouchable in late game.
Absolutely, and CLG fans were worried after week 1. It looked really shaky from the team, but now I think some faith has been restored. But remember, not too much faith. For more on that win, let's send it over to Wiggily for an interview with CLG's big man in the top lane.
Thanks, Flowers. Darshan, congratulations on the win. 2-0 for CLG and 2-0 for you. Playing as a tank on that Sion, I saw you pop up as soon as the Nexus exploded. Tell me about that excitement.
Yeah, I think it feels good to beat 2 of the top teams in the league right now and prove that CLG is a contender this split.
And how happy are you with your team and everyone's performance from this weekend?
I think the biggest thing I'm happy about is that we're improving. I think that, you know, it's not about who's the best team right now, it's who's the best team at playoffs. And I think that, you know, week 1 was pretty shaky, but I think Coach Irene's great. I think all the teammates are really motivated to win the split. And yeah, I'm really happy that we're able to 2-0.
And speaking to improvement, you guys looked so well coordinated today and had almost complete objective control. What's been the main focus of practice over the past few weeks?
I think it's just a number of things. I think Weldon will do a good job focusing on like the mindset side of things, focusing on players like emotional like tendencies. And then I think Irene focuses on all the League of Legends stuff, like the gameplay specific things, macro, movement, all of that. And I think he's been very helpful. I mean, he's just been an amazing coach so far too. So yeah, it's been nice to have someone that I can learn from every day. And I think that we're like a coaching staff is probably like the biggest difference to split.
And you and Wiggily looked phenomenal today and had almost complete control over the top side. What can you tell me about the synergy that you've built with him?
I think Ray is just willing to do anything to like help the team out if he knows it's good. And I think that it's nice to have a jungler like that who's willing to like listen to you and try things out even though it might fail. So yeah, it's been nice working with him. I think he's a rookie. He still has stuff to learn, but I think he's really trying hard to improve every day and like accept criticism.
Darshan, thank you so much, and congratulations again on the 2-0 weekend. That's it for us here. Back to the State Farm Analyst desk.
Thank you very much, Wiggily. What a turnaround for CLG from weeks 1 to week 2, picking up another victory here over Cloud9. Again, one of the teams that was touted as maybe a potential top 3, top 4 contender for the split. And they do it in pretty solid fashion. There were a couple mistakes here and there, and as you hear Darshan with a young roster and whatnot, that's prone to happen, a few mistakes, but they showed some resilience and closed it out.
this combined with the previous game's upset with FlyQuest over TSM, which was a small upset, really throws the top half of the league, aside for TL, into upheaval because, you know, CLG's 0-2 weekend when they weren't using their main starter suddenly comes under question. Now you're wondering how good they were because this was a super good game from them.
Right, they had 6 dragons this game. They took a lot of proactive plays. They're teleporting bot, 5-man. Granted, it didn't do anything, but you know, they're on the same
Proactive.
page. They're on the same page of things they want to do, and that's a good sign for teams, especially early on in the season. It means there's a lot of room to grow.
Yeah, without a doubt. We did have that tank into Viktor matchup in the top lane. We had Licorice over in the interview lounge yesterday talking about how he kind of feels he can separate himself as one of the best top laners in the league. And while, yes, there was jungle attention and influence into the top lane, this time around, Darshan got the better of him on that Sion pick.
It did feel a little bit kind of like yesterday's thing that happened with Huni as Jason to Sion, where like there was a play in the enemy's red jungle where all of a sudden the carry top,
gets a huge amount of kills.
yeah, where they get a big influx of gold, and if Sion can start early prioritizing whatever his main resist he needs is, it becomes really difficult to do anything serious to him.
Right. I'm not honestly convinced by this top victory so far. I don't believe it's won a game. Maybe one actually, where I think Huni played it and he got carried possibly. I'm
he got
sure.
smashed by the Aurelia or something.
Yeah, Broken Blade.
Yeah,
right?
by Broken Blade.
on
Yeah.
him, and then he came back in the game through the help of his team. And it's just like, I'm not a pro player, so I don't really know why people are picking Viktor top, but it doesn't seem like it's panning out. It's definitely like a champion that's strong in scrims and solo queue. But
Here's that play you're talking about, Mark, where Cloud9 actually makes a pretty risky invade into the red buff. CLG collapses and comes out on top with a few kills.
It felt really telegraphed. You saw Zeyzal run all the way through the mid lane.
He's running through the mid wave, coming through red.
Yeah, and so like
what we're doing.
They have a lot of early game things that are supposed to be trying to bridge the Kai'Sa, which we kind of talked about earlier in the day, but this play was just so telegraphed, so obviously set up that it gave CLG, who was really not in position to defend it initially, time to set back up for it, and they get that huge double bomb stun.
Yeah, hey guys, where do you think that Braum's going?
Yeah, right?
Oh, straight through mid lane? Looks like he's heading towards our red buff.
He's just having fun,
To do a
dropping
little
some
dance,
words,
a little jig, run back down to bot lane.
Yeah.
That definitely set the tone. But I think what the point you made earlier around the 6 Drakes is something that we've now seen come into play multiple times now throughout the first couple weeks of the split. Teams that index into securing those early objectives, even if they do fumble once or twice, like CLG did here, it gave them enough control that ultimately they still could win the game.
Yeah, I mean, come late game, single ocean and single mountain doesn't seem very strong, but the fact that they got 6, 3 of each, made that there were a number of really close fights where CLG win by virtue of not dying, and then the triple ocean Drake coming in, and then because they have triple mountain, the other team doesn't have time to go back and heal up as well. So I thought the Drake control was a huge factor in winning this game.
Dragon is always something that is for the late game. It usually doesn't give you a lot of power right away, even with the recent changes. It's like a 6% HP regen over time. But if you get 3 of them, or 3 Earth Dragons, or 3 Fire, it's a huge difference later in the game. And when you're versus champions like Kai'Sa and stuff, that the enemy team's going to go for a late game thing. You take the dragons away from them, now you have late game insurance.
It's very interesting to me. I'm just going to be curious to see how teams adjust their playstyle and the way they approach the game after seeing results like this. Games extend late and the dragons end up paying dividends. Will there be certain picks that rise and fall out of priority just by virtue of needing to be able to fight around those global objectives?
Right. I mean, we saw more Kai'Sa today, for example, knowing that the games are going to go later, but it still feels like you need to have some focus on early game. It can't be all the way early game, and it can't be all the way late game. It does feel like it's a very mid-game focus right now.
It kind of reminds me of way back in Season 3 and 4, where Dragon used to give money. People would put a lot of priority on it and take fights on it. You're seeing so far in the LCS that there are so many fights happening around Dragon now, and there's consistently been a thing across all teams. So people need to pick strong early games where they can win those team fights to get those dragons, because everyone's just contesting those dragons.
Yeah.
Whether it's honestly good or not for the teams to do, I'm not entirely sure, but everyone's fighting for that dragon.
Right.
So make sure you get a team comp that can win that dragon fight.
Another thing to note here, as with yesterday, Wiggily and Darshan were the top jungle duo that was in for CLG. They've now picked up 2 wins together. So whether or not that's going to inform CLG's roster choices moving forward, I just kind of wanted to evaluate Wiggily as the rookie, his performance in this game as compared to yesterday.
I thought that the fight that they won at the red buff, a lot of it was due to Wiggily playing super well in that situation. And that was what kind of enabled them to set up that big early game. Had a couple mistakes in the late game to die a couple times in team fights, but a super good game from him, all things considered.
Even like outside the mechanics of things, to call that red fight is probably largely on him, because that's his area of the zone. He's like, hey guys, you're coming to my red buff. Can you guys come here? This is how we're going to take the fight. So not only did he play it well on a macro level, I'm imagining he also took it on a macro level as well.
Yeah, it's great to see CLG coming away with a victory and do exactly what you mentioned, Mark. Kind of throw the top of the table, in disarray when it comes to the standings, which just usually happens around week 2 or 3 in the LCS.
As always.
Everything we thought was certain is no longer certain, but it is written in the LCS bylaws that neither snow nor rain nor heat nor gloom of night stays these LCS big plays, especially when you at LL Esports. So let's take a look at what you sent us this week. First up, Rockin' Rodney was trying to let the world know Solo's play in the top lane was just classic NA talent.
Solo might now be subjected to a gank. 1v2 up here. Blade does not land the ultimate. Does find the stun. The Witness Sphere, this could be enough. Solo pops the ult. He will be revived. That ult's going to be down. And can they kill him under turret? Very little health left on him. Flashing away. Nice jump by Acadian. Knocked into the air. Solo, the aggro is on. He's going to get 2 kills by himself.
Nice.
I got one.
You got two.
Nice.
That little chuckle.
Yeah, even Solo was like, I got 1. Oh, I got 2. Hey, let's go.
That was one of 2 1v2s that he won in that game. Unfortunately, they didn't come away with the victory in spite of all of it, but he definitely played his heart out on that Aatrox. Next up, Donald DC Keys celebrated the 100 Thieves win because someday is back.
The Baron's on the table, and now your jungler's gone. 100 Thieves up against it, but they do have all of their damage dealers here.
Yeah, nice spell shield, gets rid of the ult out of Bang, but they're still gonna find some decent fighting here. The heal comes in, here comes the dive inside the Baron pit, 5v3. They gotta stop it early because Smite will go the way of Golden Guardians, waiting for it.
He missed the Smite!
He misses it, and Sunday grabs it.
That was pretty sweet. You compare his Akali gameplay in that fight to the one just before that, there's a large difference. And what's important is that it's not about the mistakes that you make in games. It's also about the times where you make clutch plays. So sure, you can like rag on people for making mistakes, but when they do those big plays where they get their team back into the game or win, those matter just as much, and that's great to see.
And I think just for 100 Thieves fans who have been probably feeling pretty down with, supposed to be Bang and someday the big carries on this team, seeing both of them have huge moments in this game has got to be very reassuring.
And I loved Zeyzal's call there, the idea of a forced error there. Because of the damage he had dealt, Contracts had to smite or he would have died and not even been there for the smite secure anyway. And then having the, in the moment wherewithal to throw that auto onto the Baron and actually secure it was pretty sweet. Finally, Footrest pointed out the play that sealed Mark and High's fate. Pobelter's Baron Steal, my favorite play of the day.
I disagree.
Yo, look for the steal and fight. Okay. I'm ulting. Oh, nice. Let's go. Hit front line. Oh, you guys win this. Yo, go mid.
It was a little under 2,000 when Pobelter went in and comboed it. And there was a small break point where you saw it at 700, but between the Paddle Star coming in and the smite damage.
Just Zoe things.
Yeah, just Zoe things. It's another champion to add onto the list where junglers get to say well, what'd you want me to do?
Right.
Yeah.
Level 13 versus 16, there's no way he has the same burst as his max range Zoe Q. There's just no.
Can't necessarily blame the jungler rather for that situation, but for me, what pays off is the fact that you guys were in pain, myself as well, after that. Make sure to tweet those LCS big plays so we can celebrate the big moments throughout the year. Now, though, it's time to send it over to Freak for LCS Cooldown.
Thank you very much, Dash. Welcome to LCS Cooldown, and I will try to not clap anymore because that's a bad habit. I am here with Ezreal, who is clapping along. This is great. Just clap right by your microphone.
This is like the name game.
Yeah.
Just like.
If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. No one's happy. They're 3-1. Weird. Either way, Viper and Inverter here with me as well from a very victorious, I would say, FlyQuest.
Extremely victorious.
I mean, it was a 1-1 week, but you guys look really good. You're alone in second at 3-1. This has got to be great.
Yeah, it feels pretty good. I think for us, it's not the end-all be-all for us. It's just the foundation that we want to lay out. And starting with 3 wins is really great. Starting with the kind of gameplay that we have is really good. But it's not the best we can be. And we all know that already. And so being able to build upon this strong start is something that I'm personally looking forward to as well. So.
Yeah, it definitely feels good to start like this, especially on my rookie year. It's a really good feeling to, get hyped up to even play better. I'm getting used to stage, I'm getting used to everything. That's really all I need. Once I play how I play in scrims and translate it to stage, I think it'll be really a really good year for us.
And you get to prove all the dummies like me wrong who didn't think you guys were going to do well. So pretty good start. I've definitely been impressed with how you guys have been playing on stage.
Yeah. And keep in mind, speaking of playing well on stage, we're going to have a Riven 1v1 later on. The end of the show.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I'm gonna find ways to make it close. It's gonna be a thing.
You've faced the pressures of the LCS stage, but have you faced David Freaked Hurley in a Riven 1v1?
The Plat 2 not top laner who hasn't played Riven in 2 years. It's gonna be close. Now it's time, of course, for Sion Speedway. We had Invert do it a little while ago. Here he is in the standings.
Ooh,
a clean second place.
Oh, you're clean.
Oh, actually, no, you're above Broken Blade.
Yeah.
You said you were behind him.
I thought the producers said that I was
Ooh.
behind him
Okay,
on
so
my
now the
time, and
pressure's
he's like,
on.
I have to double
Are you
check.
gonna lose to your coach?
Invert,
You play
Invert
Sion.
is the best Sion Speedway player of the year. It is a new track for the year. Viper, you gotta take first place from this guy. You have a 1 in your name, so I think you can do it.
Yeah,
We actually
I'm
bet.
gonna take it.
We
All right,
actually,
he's gonna walk over right now. You gotta wait. Sorry, Viper, you're out of order.
All right.
We got some B-roll of the Speedway itself. You got these blue trinkets as the checkpoints. You can ult as many times as you want. You can only use actives and summoners once each. And as you get around the rift, you finally get into the opposing base. And when you finally int into the fountain, that is the finish line. That's when it's all
This
over.
is the inting Sion strategy.
Yeah, this is the winting Sion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how you prepare for the LCS stage.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
So there's extra stakes beyond just first place, okay? So before we get started, since our 1v1 is a little unbalanced, I'm obviously far better, there's handicaps at stake on this show based on challenges. The first challenge is Invert versus Viper, and Invert, you have to pick over/under. Is his time going to be over or under yours?
Over meaning like he's gonna.
Is he going to beat you or not?
Over
He's not gonna
meaning
beat
slower.
me. He's not gonna beat me. We also made a bet off
Yeah, for Boba.
broadcast
Yeah.
for Boba.
Oh, those are high stakes.
we did.
So loser
stakes as
buys
well.
it. Yeah.
The coach says his Sion is better than the top laner.
I mean, I'll take my free boba, man.
I mean, I'm already better than the TSM top laners.
Well, we already knew that, you guys. That was already a known quantity. All right, well, now if you're ready, please go ahead and up there.
All right, let's do it.
And Viper is ready to take the #1 spot or not. His coach doesn't believe in him.
I like jasmine milk tea, by the way, if you're gonna.
All right. When you're ready, slash on pause, and you go when the timer hits 0.
All right.
And if
I got to stretch for this.
Yeah,
wrong
of
in your
course.
prediction, then Freak gets an advantage.
Let's go. I'm ready.
That's true.
Yeah.
Freak is gonna get, I believe, Rune and Summoner advantage.
Uh-huh.
So he'll get some good runes.
I heard it was
some good summoners.
yeah,
you know,
you-
he'll get like Conquer Ignite. You'll be stuck with like Glacial Augment or something worthless and Ghost. So.
Spellbook, probably.
Yeah. Well, so I'm going to say it should be Guardian because you can't trigger Guardian in 1v1. It's literally a non-keystone.
Ooh,
It requires a teammate. Yeah,
Oh,
the Guardian.
does he get to set it?
Yeah, I mean, I get the biggest advantage and you get the worst advantage. So, like, if they don't know, producer's got to hear that Guardian is the worst
Looks
one.
like a pretty good run though.
Yeah, he's doing. Ooh, that's a wall though. Yo. And Broken Blade's one is
that's a
pretty
good one.
clean, so if you're faster than him.
Oh,
double
double
flash.
flash. That's
That was a
a
misclick.
little penalty
Oh,
there.
did he double flash? Oh, that's a yikes. Okay, no, for sure. Invert's right. Oh my God.
was
Don't let this
hard.
guy play Sion. He's a Riven.
Pressure is getting
He's
to
a
him.
Riven for sure.
I choked.
No, it's okay.
I mean, the thing is,
Right
it's
side,
like,
right side, right side.
you
right
can
side.
understand with Riven players, they're not used to the
Actually,
high-level
the
mechanics that are
Okay,
required
we're
For
too far out.
Sion.
of a champion like Sion,
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely.
Yeah.
And we'll find out. We'll get the official
All
time.
right.
It was pretty good.
I think
It
that's
was pretty
third place
good.
though. I think that's behind Broken Blade and
think
Invert.
so?
Yeah.
Which would be bad for you because he
I
predicted
know.
that he was going to lose, which means you get no
I
advantage.
need the help. Like,
What if
you
they're
under-
really
you-
strategic and did it on purpose?
You
Yeah.
overestimated my faith in my top laner. That's the
I
biggest issue that we had
your
here.
faith in your top laner.
Oh, there we
you hate to
go.
see it.
There
But
we
you are
go.
still far better than Acadian. That's at least enough for you right here.
You know what's really funny is his practice runs were really good.
Yep.
And so I think if he had like one more chance, maybe he
Yeah.
could beat me, but unfortunately.
Yeah, one thing to point out, you did get the 1 second penalty for the double flash. You don't, of course, save a full second for flashing, so it is a negative, but even without that, you'd still be in third. There's a lot of room between Broken Blade and Acadian, so solidly in third place. We'll see how that goes for y'all later on. I'm gonna stop clapping eventually. But that was the leaderboard. It's a trick I have to remove. Now we're gonna take a new game, and it's called What's That ELO, where I put these players' analytical skills to the test. Zeyzal, you're on this one as well. And you have to guess the rank of the players in the games I'm about to show. This will, of course, factor in the 1v1 as well. Zeyzal guesses for me. You guys guess for yourselves, of course, and whoever gets the most
together on
points
that.
wins.
Yeah.
If Ezreal is ahead, I get a level advantage. in the Rivet 1v1, which I feel like is important when those
Yeah,
champions
keep in
fight
mind,
each other.
if we don't get some advantages here, Freak is doomed. So,
So
pray for me.
yeah.
You're safe
Yeah.
with the runes now.
Yeah.
Because I,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
I didn't
yeah, yeah.
believe
That's right, the
that
runes aren't
that.
screwed up.
Yeah. So I better not run it down on this one. Or
The
I think
one thing
it's
to
all
point
over.
out is, as far as guessing the rank, it's where the players ended last season, because like we're all in placement territory, so it's not like, oh, they were diamond, now they're gold. It's like, where were these players last season, and that's the benchmark.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
All right, so we are ready. These clips are all soundless, so you can talk over them, give me your thoughts, what's going on. The first clip, I believe, we're ready whenever.
Okay.
And you've got to figure out how good these players are. So this is Vi taking a Drake, not pulling it out of the pit.
Yep.
And Rengar just,
He just hops
there's
in
the ward.
He steals it, I bet.
Vi gonna
Okay.
lose the smite,
Yeah.
gonna take the fight. That's also not close, but it's not done.
I feel like this is
collapse. Look at the collapse. The
yeah, the
TP.
TPs are coming in.
Yeah.
It was Rengar actually like Q smited. These are like people who are doing some
forced
stuff.
the
Mechanics
Zilean
are
ult out?
there. The mechanics.
The mechanics are there. I mean, there's some stuff going on. The TPs came down.
Is that Viper up there?
So I immediately am thinking that this is like a diamond game, just because I think that in low elo games, the top laners wouldn't even notice that something is happening in the bot side to TP
Yeah,
to
to
quick
TP.
enough.
I think
Yeah,
it's
it's true.
at least above gold.
I'm going diamond.
Okay.
I think it's like the Vi was in platinum, everyone else was in diamond. You know?
Because he got stolen.
Everyone else is diamond.
Yeah, it was. I think
We need consensus from Team FlyQuest.
Are you gonna go diamond or plat?
plat.
Plat?
I'd say plat.
I think plat too, because it's just like champions that are played, and also even though the collapse is there, it's not. I don't know. It just the mechanics are there, I guess.
Yeah.
But everyone's playing like easy to play champs, and then
Yeah.
I'm
I'm so happy how you answered this question. So the answer is diamond. So that's +1 for us.
Oh baby!
But the best part is you're like, everyone's diamond, but the Vi is plat. The Vi is Jat. That was Jat and me duo queuing. We are 0-4 duo queuing this season. And I am undefeated solo queuing. I just want to point that out.
Jinx?
Yeah.
Oh no.
I tried to flash a Jax, it didn't matter.
That
Oh, I
was
didn't
so
even notice what
tragic.
the Jinx was doing.
Yeah, well, I was watching the kiting though. You know, I baited out the Zilean ult.
Well,
It's
you can
fine.
thank your top laner for TPing down and getting you in it in.
Yeah. All right. So
Otherwise, I would have been going lower.
1-0. I got a chance.
All right,
Next clip,
looking good,
whenever we're
looking
ready.
good.
Man,
Next clip, here we go. All right, so Red Team's pushing in, trying to close the base
they're
out.
really ahead.
Yeah, they're ahead by a
Super
lot.
far ahead.
Does that go for the all-in?
The
You got
Zed
flash
all
out?
in is really bad.
Just immediately, it's like not skilled.
Yeah, that was not skilled.
Well,
But he's 10-1.
Oh, what? Oh, see
He's
the
10-1 and
Urgot.
5.
The Urgot. Look at what the Urgot's doing.
Hergot's going to Drake. He's turning back to go for Drake.
He popped the plant to make sure no one saw him sneak that Drake as the game was
gotta
ending.
control the vision,
Wait, he has
right?
plans while everyone's showing.
Okay, they're actually kind of defending. The Fizz kills the Zed, and he
Yep.
gets the shutdown. They don't end here, I bet.
Urgot's still doing the
And
drag.
he's still doing the
So
Drake.
this is
That's
the
the
hope.
hope.
for the
That's
late
the hope
game.
This
Drake.
is the thing. So like,
That's the
if
hope.
you're like, these guys' mental is strong, then this is low elo. But this could be a challenger game where the Urgot is just like
freaking
running it
Yeah,
down.
yeah.
He's like,
He just tells
you
them.
guys didn't forfeit.
Oh,
I'm
he
out of
stopped his
here.
recall.
Yo, guess what Urgot's doing
He
next?
stopped the recall.
Guess what Urgot's doing next? Yo, he's in there.
It's 4D chess, baby. He's brilliant.
Yo, and he flashes it over.
Flash.
He's so clean.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Oh.
I wish I could say iron.
This is where you have to get in there.
what we're talking
Literally
about.
not even eligible this time.
You gotta get in their brain. Was Urgot tilted and running it down, or you know, was that just like he just didn't notice what was going on?
I'm
It's
just
like,
saying that's silver bronze.
I'm going.
I'll go plat again.
I'm going gold.
No, this.
I'll go plat again.
Like,
I'll go plat
you
again.
can't.
I'm going gold.
Why?
It's plat.
How is that?
Their builds were all
Dude,
real.
like it was all planned by him. He got the dragon. He knew his team could defend. He knew he can go in for the flank right after everything's
All right,
done.
this is your
I don't know if
handicap.
this is
I will
your
trust
telling
you
or
on.
not.
If you think this is plat, I'll
it's plat.
think
Trust
it's
me.
gold.
Trust me. It's
I
plat.
enjoy how you think this is the same skill level as Jat's Vi. Like, it's just like, that's 1-to-1 the same skill level. You're making the same vote. And you're going gold?
Yeah.
All right, sadly, this is not Price is Right. Actually, wouldn't have mattered. You're all
It's
wrong.
silver. I
It's
said
silver.
silver.
I'm the
Hey,
closest. I get
no,
a
no,
half
no.
a point.
But you went over, which is also an auto-fail and Price is Right.
Yeah, but I mean,
Might
it's,
be.
I don't know.
it's like horseshoe.
I
It's
will
not,
let-
It's not Price is Right.
Production can
Horseshoe.
tell me whether or not half a point counts here for this one.
Okay.
Oh man, you really
And
just
I was
want to
just told
give
no.
freak
I'm
a free
just giving
advantage.
He's the advantages here.
I want to shout out the Zyra support is the LCS commissioner, Chris Greeley. So he was in that game hanging out.
Oh gosh.
But yeah, silver for clip 2. All right, we got another one whenever we're ready. The third clip up on the screen. Lee Sin going for gank in mid.
Okay. Oh, roaming support.
He's on the pink ward.
Yeah.
He knows not to auto. He knows not to auto the ward.
Yeah.
Ward hop flash.
Ward hop flash.
That was actually pretty
That was
clean.
a Captain
And
Jack
it was
cleanse.
a fast cleanse.
But
That's good.
the Syndra played that super well.
This is a high level game. This is
I actually think I've seen this before.
I think that's a
Like,
challenger game.
I
because-
definitely think I've seen that before
So
in some capacity.
I would believe that they could troll us with like, okay, Elysian did a good
That was the
kick flash.
sickest bronze 1 play you've ever seen.
If it was one isolated incident,
Right.
But the cleanse was really fast.
Yeah.
They didn't auto the ward to give away that the gank was coming. Everyone collapsed in. Like everyone played it like mechanically
Syndra was even
well.
top side of the lane.
yeah.
That's the challenger.
That was a really good roam by.
Is Master and Challenger like in the same space?
Pick your group. They're separate.
I think I'm gonna go Challenger because I swear I've seen that before,
Challenger?
and I think it's pretty well played.
I'll
Well,
trust
guess
you on
what?
that
They're
one.
guessing the same as me, so we win.
Yeah, it's all challenger. So it's challenger with an asterisk. It's Golden Guardians Academy versus
Yeah,
TSM
that's
Academy.
how I
Yeah, when you
saw
said
it.
something like,
I
I've seen that play, I was like, yeah, you have. So that was Academy recently, but yeah, challenger.
Palafox was the Lysandra.
Yeah, that was Palafox and Lysandra.
And that was their first game that they won.
Oh, really? Did you guess?
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
This man, he's watching all the leagues.
Yeah.
I like that.
Wait, was that Hard's league?
That was hard.
Yeah, it's hard.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
That's clean.
Yeah, that's good stuff. All right, well, we have one final clip, so you can tie it up right here.
Oh, crap.
Because Ezreal's up 1-0, or I guess 2-1, or whatever.
Okay.
Fourth clip, here we go.
There's another Riven. This is a Vipers game. Just automatically.
All right, so Blitz getting hit, but disengaging.
Okay, good Galio.
Decent rebel ult.
Taunt.
There's a Wukong, so that's not challenger.
Oh, that redemption is. They know how to use item actives, so this
Right.
is at least above silver.
Valid. Yep.
Okay, so Rumble's kind of just running around. Akali stopwatches with Lulu ult.
Is this a Captain Flower?
Oh, he
game?
misses his
There's
E.
a Skarner. It's like the
There's a
Oh, it's a
Galio
Skarner
support-
with a Death Dance and
This
a
is
Tribe
this
Force.
is
This is the Captain Flowers.
Oh
game.
wow, they actually turned that around.
It's
And
Skarner,
he's
by the way,
just
one point there.
It's definitely a Captain Flowers game, baby. Let's go.
White Elo is.
Well, you guys have to guess first then.
Yes.
Oh, man.
I actually want to guess Captain Flowers.
All right.
I'm gonna say that's a plat game.
Yeah, I'm going to say it's a plat as well.
I'm going plat.
I'll go plat.
Game actually averages out to gold. It is Captain Flowers. Flowers is the
I
Skarner.
actually knew it.
But he's in a normals with
He was
friends.
just like not doing anything.
Yeah, so the average elo. That whole fight was 3v5, by the way. Very in base.
I saw. And the
played
funny
enough
thing
games
is,
with Flowers.
Yeah.
that Galio started that fight really well, and I was like, wow, that's really good. And then I see him not doing any damage, and then I look at the scoreboard, I'm like, wow, he's Galio support. That makes so much sense.
Yeah.
I feel like I get extra points for knowing the exact person.
To be fair, though, like, it was like, oh, that was freaking Jat, and that was like Commissioner Greeley, and that was
wouldn't
Golden
know
Guardians
that.
Academy.
We
You're
wouldn't
like,
know
oh, that's
that.
Flowers.
Who else would build a Death Dance
Yeah.
with Skarner? Let's be real.
I
here.
wish we actually put up one of Viper's games for this, just to have a
Don't worry,
guess.
that's maybe like next
There've
week,
been-
you know,
there've
we'll
been
like
some
come up with more.
They'll put up our 1v1.
I've been looking
Yeah.
over the shoulder. There have been some rough stuff.
We'll put up his science speedway. Be like, who is this? All right, but Ezreal, you did it. 2-1. I get to have a level lead in the 1v1.
Now I can blame you.
It's not the
Yeah.
worst, It's not the worst.
The player skill still large.
It depends on how he levels too.
How
Oh
many
yeah.
levels do you get?
I don't know. I actually don't know all the details
We're gonna have
yet.
to find out. What if
It's Qmax.
level 18 versus level 1? I don't think it even matters.
Oh, that one I would win.
would be
I would
amazing.
bet you a lot. I would win
think
18-1. 7-6 is close. 5-6 I would probably win.
Yeah.
7-6 I feel like you get me.
7 to 6, I don't think.
Yeah. All right, we've got one more mini game before I face off against Viper in our 1v1 in order to get me one final advantage. Now, if you've been to the LCS and the live shows, you know that FlyQuest is always trying to improve the player experience here at the studio. They had tacos and t-shirts opening day. I had both. That's not true, I had t-shirt only. Yesterday, they had umbrellas for fans in the rain. And of course, they also bring cornhole. The rules are simple. If me and Ezreal sink more beanbags in cornhole, I unlock an item advantage, I believe is a Coalfield's Warhammer to nothing.
Okay.
Which is pretty big. So let's play. We are ready to go.
Yeah.
I feel like
Ezreal?
we have an advantage because I'm pretty sure you have cornhole at your house.
I've played it before, yeah.
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 I
All
can't
right.
say I have any cornhole skills.
Are you choosing gold or green?
No. We each throw twice.
Oh,
Okay.
And then we alternate.
Okay.
So we're actually going all at once. You want to start or me?
Come on, Freak. You need
for it,
this, man.
Freak.
You need this.
All right.
Let's do this.
I'm actually nervous, legitimately. I'm actually more worried about this than actually playing Riven.
Oh, he's clean.
Okay, let's go.
Wow.
He's clean. Now the pressure's on me. Are you going twice?
No, go ahead.
Okay, let's see. Oh,
All right, it's okay. It's okay.
Strikes.
I don't know if I'm gonna get this one, but I'm gonna try. Knock it in. Come on, I believe in you.
Can I? Is that how it
Yeah,
works?
that's
Yeah, that's how the game
I'm
works.
trying to knock it in. Okay, I'm gonna try. Let's see. Oh no! I was trying to throw a load. Bump it up.
Have it slide up.
Yeah, and try to have it slide, but that was
That would've been sick.
That was
That
pretty
would've been
boosted. That was
It's okay.
Man. Okay, it's just one. It's
All
just
right.
one.
So you don't need those.
had
We got you. You got your.
Oh, we
That
have
was
our
pretty-
own.
We got you your own court. All right. So we're gonna follow me.
Okay.
Oh man.
Oh, it's the other way. It's the other way. Apparently we're going.
Other way.
Is it?
Oh, we're going this
It's
way.
up there.
Okay.
Is there
We'll
gonna
find
be
it.
some sort of?
We're not trolling you at all. Don't worry.
Completely even
It's the
field.
same. Okay.
No.
Just
Don't
making
worry.
Sure.
It's totally not
No funny business
cheating or
in order to
anything.
secure.
No, it's
secure
fine.
the
We're out here.
handicap.
Here's the line, and here you go. Yo, it's easy. You only need one. You only need one.
Yeah.
And to be fair, it's one in and one on,
And
right? So it's
also,
one and a half.
you can't do worse than I did because I got 0. So that's an important thing to keep in mind here.
Yeah, teams are
Don't
unbalanced.
shame me. I need
Teams are
this.
unbalanced.
No, this is easy. This is easy
This
stuff.
is easy. All right, here we go. All right,
That was pretty good. That was actually
The first
as
one.
good as my
Yeah.
First one
That
is
was actually as good as my
That's
second.
going to Zeyzal out of 10.
Yeah.
That was a warm-up.
was a warm-up.
This is a real one.
All right, that was also an
good.
Ezreal.
Those are respectable.
Those are also. You also took over the line. I don't know. It's like half a point down. Maybe. Yeah, you gotta be careful.
All right, you gotta carry us.
They hit
man.
this. This is insane.
Yeah, if they actually make it, I'm just like sad. Yes.
Okay.
All right.
I got it.
Actually, I think I win no matter what now, because I got one on, and that's actually points in cornhole.
Oh no!
That was close. That was
I got
close.
both.
We lost.
I respect it.
I got
I
both
respect
pretty
it.
close.
Almost.
All right.
Yeah.
That was
Now we
close.
gotta find out how big the advantages are here.
Yeah, I get a level and items on you, and I'm still gonna lose. It's gonna be great. Oh my.
We'll see.
All right, pressure's on for you to not suck. All right.
Honestly, I'm just glad we got you the right runes.
Yeah.
I think that is probably
Guardian presence in
Honestly-
mind was not gonna be the strat.
All I need is the runes, man. It's good enough.
Yeah, I think it would be. I would make you do Guardian, Demolish. I forget what probably Tenacity on Summoner Spell. I forget what else you have to take in there, but something else garbage. And I would make you go.
Stopwatch
Go like
is not
boots or
active.
something. You know?
Well, no, and then I'll put you in Precision for Triumph and Cut Down because I don't have more health than you. So it's you have no runes. It'd be great. That's not what's happening.
Also, adaptive stats, you'd go like CDR.
Magic.
Oh yeah,
Magic
you
resist.
You go adaptive stats for CDR skilling and stuff. You're right.
Yeah.
All right. So before we are done, let's pull up our next week's schedule. Take a look at what's in store for FlyQuest. Team Liquid and Echo Fox are your guys' matchups.
Yep.
First for second place, by the way, which is a super hype matchup over for Game 2. How are you guys feeling about that one? And it's your old team.
Yeah. So I think that's Omran and Pobelter will have a really good time kind of
Clapping on them.
showing Steve that, maybe he made the wrong choices, right? In terms of what he did. For me, I'm looking forward to just proving ourselves against the top team, showing that we can play them close, beat them, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, prep begins this week, and I'm just looking forward to it. I'm really glad that we have the strong start, and we get to, continue that as well.
Right, absolutely. Any other matchups you're kind of curious to look forward to?
For me, I just want to see how teams react to maybe not doing as well as they think they are. So that Clutch C9 game for me is really interesting, where most people think that Clutch can really snowball with the individual talent, and C9, similar to Fnatic in Europe, having kind of the slower start that people may not have expected given their run at Worlds, right?
What's the biggest surprise then for you guys in the standings, right?
Optic. By
Optic?
far.
Yeah.
Optic,
Yeah.
Optic by
Not
far.
Golden Guardians, not the 04?
I think for us, we had a lot of time. We had a boot camp in December featuring some of the other North American teams. So we got a good read on what some of those teams might look like coming into the LCS season. And for us, contrary to public perception, we didn't think teams like GGS or CLG were as strong as other people thought. I think those teams can still show that strength and show that they can be better, and I think they can grow from where they are right now.
And I mean, CLG did.
CLG's
right?
did,
Like,
too.
CLG looked really good.
100%.
Well, yeah.
100%.
They did well.
And yeah, it's just I think this is anyone's league right now, even though TL is kind of up there. I think it's just a scrap otherwise. So.
Viper, are there any players that stood out to you?
I think right now there's no team that's really unbeatable. There's no team that just beats everyone. I think TL, I think every team right now is beatable. So that's why I'm really excited to be the only team that's undefeated.
Right, yeah. And you own first, basically, at that point.
Yeah, exactly.
That's just cool.
But yeah, I look forward to playing against Impact.
Yeah.
I look up to him a lot. So
Yeah, because you were understudying him right back last season.
Yeah, he taught me a lot. We were just talking to each other whenever we could.
That's cool.
Who do
So he
you
helped
think,
a lot.
who do you have as the best top laner in the league then? Licorice yesterday said he thought he was the best top laner in the league. Didn't have a good game
Including
today.
myself.
Sure, yeah.
I think Licorice and Impact top 2 for sure.
Really?
I think they're both like the
Like how
same
you
level.
ask of yourself, but then you don't even put yourself like, including me?
Not yet. You know, I need some.
He needs
You're
to win
scaling,
this
you're scaling, you're
1v1
playing for late.
first. He needs to win this
Yeah, I'm playing
Riven
for late.
1v1.
You're playing for late, okay.
That's the plan.
All right, it's time. Let's do
Yeah.
our battle.
Oh,
The pressure is really on now.
I have 2 of 3 handicap advantages, and I still don't think I'm going to win.
all right,
What do you think is gonna happen?
A question I have for you. I'm here. I'm here.
Get blasted. Okay. I mean,
Yeah. Okay, so I'm level 8, and I have Warhammer. Okay, so actually, I've got excuses already. I'm left-handed, and this mouse cord's not moving. I legit need the mouse on the other side of this desk. Ooh, this is, like, I got asked for key bindings. Like, oh, no, key bindings are fine. Don't worry about it. Like, on
Who's
default.
it's Knight, right?
I got
Knight from Top
Is this-
Sports.
oh, this is
also
on my account.
left-handed.
oh, I don't know.
Oh, you're
I
actually
have
logged
no
in on
idea.
you? That's cool.
See, what I'm interested in is how many Riven games do you think you've played?
No, it's okay. I've got enough space. Okay, so
Comrade.
How many games of Riven have you played?
probably over 10,000.
10,000
I have
Riven
a
games.
lot of Riven games.
Freak,
yeah.
how many Riven games have you played?
maybe 10.
So really, it's pretty close. It's pretty
That's a
close,
close
is what I'm
Yeah,
I honestly
you got
think
it.
Okay.
level advantage means absolutely
You got it.
nothing.
Yeah, and it's level 8. It's like rank 2 shield.
Yeah, but
Like, it doesn't matter.
But the CDR,
stats are okay.
The CDR might matter. a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah, it's 25
Oh,
AD
that's
and 10
true, that's
CDR.
true,
It's
yeah.
Warhammer to nothing.
Yeah, it's
Okay, can you give me, like,
The runes
any
would have
quick
been bigger,
tips?
though, than probably.
Like, I know there are cancels, but, like,
the
it's like ER is
beginning
a
of
good
the
one.
runes.
It's always good to get an auto before pressing Q. Always. Like, don't ever try and, like, press Q,
double
Q,
Qs.
Q.
Yeah.
Like,
That I
it's
didn't
always,
know.
I think that's, like, the best part. Just, like,
Okay.
I don't think there's, like, a specific combo I can tell you that's, like, really insane.
Sure.
But you can always just make sure you get autos in if you want to all in.
Did they give him smite?
That's because he's holding back the real combos. He
okay.
can't
Do it.
tell you because he doesn't.
All right, I'm ready. Ooh, it's 6 to 8. Yes, I'm in on this. Let's go.
Yeah, they gave
All
him,
in me,
they
come on.
gave him smite.
Yeah, but you're like my turret.
Wait, can we use our smite or what?
Yeah, if you want to smite minions, go for it. So I actually got summoner spells, it's just not runes. So I actually got like 2.5 advantages.
What the heck?
Wait.
Okay, both ultis down.
Oh! Ignite is pretty friggin' big.
Yeah.
Wait! I didn't know I had aggro. My minion wave wasn't up. Okay, GG.
That was
Yeah.
really
No,
well
I had
done.
that. I
That
inputted the
was,
turret.
that was pretty clean. That's
That
pretty clean.
combo
I
was
inputted the
awesome.
turret, yeah.
That was close. That was a close.
Yeah, no, that was really good. That was really good.
Yeah,
You just got me way too soon.
With the advantages, level
If you were just a
Ignite.
bit more patient, you had that.
Yeah, I know. It's like, I did like 800 damage to you. You're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Next all in, I win. And I walked in a turret aggro.
Oh,
No,
man.
GG for sure.
All right, we're gonna have a replay. We're gonna have a sick post-action replay that I can't even see. I guess we're done, so we can come
Well,
back.
you can probably see it over here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think the
Here we
biggest
go.
thing. Yeah, you took
Yeah, I
aggro
had
from
aggro.
Ignite.
Like, I at least shielded the. No, Ignite timed out. That minion died. I didn't track my minion wave. I waited out Ignite. I knew Ignite was dropping. But the minions got caught up. That's what I didn't track.
Yeah.
That's on me. That's on me. Oh, well.
Honestly,
But
you played.
you know what?
That was close.
Yeah?
You did an admirable job.
Yeah, I think
That
you
was
did
good.
good.
Close enough.
You know, I really
Yeah,
thought
I was, you know, expecting like the perfect game of 1v1s here. You know, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm impressed. I'm really
It could have
impressed.
looked a lot worse.
Yeah,
for me.
I think I did an ER cancel. Like, I got that, I think. I think I got ER auto, but I got nothing else.
You know, you could have been like queuing backwards and like all
Yeah.
sideways.
There's actually other things I want to point out, by the way, because I didn't do any key bindings. I have everything on SmartCast, but not here. So I tried to Ignite in the first all-in, and it didn't cast, because I...
Oh.
Yeah, actually, and also they put Flash on D, so like, you know...
Are you a
the
flash
bunch of-
on F?
Yeah, I'm Flash on F, and I'm SmartCast, so like Ignite didn't go off in the right time, you know,
Are
I
you
didn't
flash on D or F?
I'm D.
You're
I'm
a
D.
D. I'm a
I
D
mean,
as well.
then it, you know, that's why I lost. I was a Flash on D. It's just...
Oh, yeah.
That's true.
Those are good excuses.
Those are pretty good excuses.
those are
They're unique.
Completely
I'm pretty
disregard
yeah.
the Ignite,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
two
yeah.
levels,
Like,
the
I
whole
had
field.
2 levels in a Warhammer, and I
Ignite.
still lost.
We're just setting up
To be
the
fair, though,
rematch.
I probably would have lost worse.
Yeah.
So I have a
We
great
can
total
fight
of
later on.
0 Riven SR games played, so it's a little bit less than 10,000.
All right, cool. Thank you very much.
No,
for
I'm
that.
impressed though. That was close. You know.
I appreciate that. Thanks for lying to me. That is a wrap up from us here at the LCS. Thank you again, Viper and Invert, for joining us. You guys
Give
are
yourself a
absolutely
clap,
excellent.
freak.
Yeah, I didn't clap though. It's fine. Thanks to Zeyzal. Thanks to everyone for watching. On behalf of myself and the entire live broadcast crew, thank you all, and we'll see you next week for more LCS.
A, B, C, D, E, F.
Last name? Yarnell.
You're saying you see the future? Yeah.
Yo, why is there hair in my...
Impact has not been able to contribute anything. He's already been killed off, but now Punch Gaming will be cut to pieces!
the flash. Go.
I'm smoked. In smoke. I'm dead. It's fine. I can keep going.
Good zone.
I got it.
Just gonna go top.
A triple kill for Impact. Teamfight comes in 2v2. There's the cage right there in contract, sniped by Bang. They know there's no easy way out. The sweeper's tracking the moves. He's gonna flash over the wall. The blind ult! What a shot by Hanser! Smite will go the way of Golden Guardians, waiting for it. He missed the smite! He misses it, and Sunday grabs it. FlyQuest now going for the initiation into the bottom lane. Then in some trouble, gonna be taken very low. The damage comes through, and Turtle goes wild. Sleepy Trouble Bubble comes in. Baron is still gonna be taken very low, but it's Belter! Oh, Belter!
I really don't like FlyQuest right now.
Why did Belter get smite?
Gate gonna be looking to ult over. Expecting Austin again. Yeah, Austin was trying to get in. Gate double-clicked the ultimate there before he had a chance to actually hop aboard.
Can I have a top and mid turned up?
You sure you want to turn me up, Trevor? You know what happens when I get in game, bro.
Nisqy now stuck behind enemy lines, not able to find the kill, and disaster.
Let's go.
Yeah!
Darshan coming in on the flank.
Oh, Licorice into the stasis will buy a little bit of time, but it is not going to be enough. Darshan goes on a killing spree with this Sion. Sneaky's got a bomb strapped onto his head. He's going to be taking no punch. CLG 2-0 week 2.
Let's go.